Hey everyone, continuing on in the series now, we're looking at the top 10 best Revenge of the Sith sets of all time. This list was really hard to make and it's probably going to upset a few people, but I don't care. This is my opinion. Let me know your favourite Revenge of the Sith sets in the comments below. Now, let's get into it. Starting us off in the number 10 spot now, we have the 75269 Duel on Mustafar. 208 pieces released in 2020. I have pretty much no negatives to say about this set. It's really, really good. First of all, we have two awesome minifigs. Obi-Wan should be exclusive, but you know, well, a little mistake on Lego's part there, I think, for 2020. Obviously, if you know, you know. But yeah, they're both great minifigs for the set. The burn marks on Mustafar, it looks awesome. It's the first time Lego's ever tried to do something like that, and it's brilliant. As a £25 display set, this one is one of the best you could possibly buy. It's such a great sort of clustered, miniaturized version of Mustafar. There's some great hidden features. Of course, you have the stud firing feature. That's sort of a one that Lego always throws in. But you have the sort of the moving little platforms that Anakin and Obi-Wan are dueling on. You can move those. You have the very, very large sort of collapsing pillar, sort of miniaturized at the top. It looks really sweet and it looks awesome on my desk, and I have nothing negative to say about this thing. It's really, really good. Similarly, now in the number 9 spot, we have the 75183 Vader's Transformation. 282 pieces released in 2017. This set was so popular back when it was released, and it follows a lot of the same things that what made Duel of Mustafar so great. There's fantastic figures. This was a £20 set. You got the Emperor in a £20 set. You still have an exclusive burnt up Darth Vader there, who is still an exclusive figure, and you got Vader as well. And it follows that same thing. There's awesome action features. The whole process for putting on Vader's helmet is such a fun feature. I used to find myself playing with that constantly when I was a kid. There's also, you know, you have the whole no sequence with the sort of the boxes that can fall over. It's all very disguised. There's nothing that screams a sort of action feature, you know? No you know, bright red parts or anything, nothing that, you know, is super obvious. Also, I do appreciate that there's a complete ring of his transformation sort of chamber. Lego will sometimes only give you like a corner of something or like a little chunk of a scene. It feels very complete, and again, it makes for a great display on a desk. This set is awesome. It was a fair price. Yeah, I've absolutely nothing negative to say about this one either. Coming in the number 8 spot now, this is actually a set that I've just got. I'm going to save a lot of this for my review, so I'm going to skim past this one, but it's the 75038 2020 Anakin's Eater 2. It had 248 pieces, and this is by far the best Eater 2 fighter Lego has ever made. It is so evolved, and I was actually very surprised when I was putting it together, like how sort of similar, but yet the way that things go together seems very, very modern. There's a lot of different building techniques that are improved, a lot more accuracy. I mean, in terms of the proportions to the actual model from the film, it's a hell of a lot more accurate. But I'm going to pick out some negatives. First of all, this damn Anakin figure. Of course, Lego was lazy in 2020. You know, only the best is good enough in heavy quotation marks. They gave us the same torso print from the Duel on Mustafar. It's not hard to remove those burn marks and have another Anakin figure. Also, there's no like star figure, no third figure. I have just reviewed the Obi-Wan's Delta 7 with Ton Wee. She was a star figure. And, you know, sort of that really hypes the setup, that third figure that you don't need, but Lego gives you, and it's awesome. Well, yeah, I really wish there was one. There's a bunch of choices Lego could have created for this, and they just really skipped out there. Besides that, though, this is an awesome set. I would definitely recommend it. Coming in now in the 7th spot, this is a set that is scoring quite low. This may upset a few people, but I don't care. It's the 75151 Clone Turbo Tank from 2016. 903 pieces. This set is very undersized compared to its Clone Wars counterpart. I am hunting down eventually that Clone Wars version. I will get the Clone Wars Juggernaut, unless Lego remakes this set. We just need a version that's better than this. But the actual build is pretty good. It's just on the smaller side. If you look at the build, it's very, very polished. You know, there's nothing that we don't really want to see here. There are a few notable features of this set. You have a sort of smaller actual minifig scale AT-AT, which is really nice to see. That can be folded up for inside the Juggernaut. You have spring missiles that are decently located. They are fairly accurate with the positions of the missiles on the actual tank. You have a very nicely discreet carry handle. You have a watchtower, some turrets. It's a very nice array of features. And the figure selection's great. Obviously, shame about the battle droids, but you got Illuminar and Dooley exclusive. You're at Quinlan Voss exclusive. Commander Gree, and we have a clone trooper there. It's a good figure selection, and it's a good set. It's just not as good as the 2000 and I believe 2010 Clone Wars one. Yeah, just not as good. LEGO, please remake this one, but it goes down as the number 7 spot. Next is a set that I've already spoken about loads on this channel, so I'm going to breeze past this one. It's the 75337 ATTE from 2022. 1082 pieces. This thing has got a great build, a fantastic build. You know, for instance, there is actually an interior on this one, and everything else is pretty much just refined. It's a nice sort of evolution, sort of like the Jedi Starfighters. It just keeps getting better. There also is great figures, of course. We have Commander Cody for the first time in his Phase 2 armor. A few inaccuracies with the clones, as other people have pointed out, but it doesn't really bother me too much. It is a shame. LEGO is really falling in their minifig department. But they are still great figures nonetheless. Of course, shame about those unnecessary battle droids. There is a really stupid side build in this set. Of course, you're paying 120 quid for the ATTE, not for a dwarf spider droid. If they were going to do that, it should have been a crab droid. And yeah, this set is great. Why is it not higher? Well, I don't have any nostalgia for it, I personally, but you know, even despite of its flaws, I still do probably prefer the 2013 model, purely for nostalgia reasons. I just think all the sets ahead of this one are better sets. Coming in at number 5 now, we have the 9526 Palpatine's Arrest, released in 2012. 649 pieces. This thing is a very, very pricey set now on the aftermarket, and it has a very, very good build. Now, these larger scenery sets aren't really my thing. I don't buy these larger scenery sets. I prefer the much more smaller, condensed ones, and then I buy larger vehicles, but this set may be an exception. I might have to get this one in the future. It's a fantastic build. You have great features. You can pull Palpatine's lightsaber towards him. You can knock out the window. They include the little sort of like Jedi sort of like miniature fighter that Anakin flies in. You have the doorway. You can sort of like mix and match this set, sort of like a lot of the other scenery sets. So there's elements you can pull off and attach in other places. And the figures are awesome. You get an exclusive, highly desirable, highly sought after Palpatine in his wonderful red robes. You get Saesee Tiin, Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, Anakin, and Agent Kolar. These are great minifigs, and yeah, I really, really, really love this set. Very expensive, not really my thing, but I do appreciate it for its time. Coming in the number 4 spot now, we have the 8088 2010 ARC 170, 396 pieces. This is a set that needs to be remade. I am not going to buy this thing until it gets remade, because I love the vehicle, I really appreciate the set, but it's very, very dated now. You know, for instance, the cockpits are very, very dated. Inside, there's not a lot of detail. Not happy with the stickers. The mechanism to open the wings is very slow and sort of fiddly and finicky. I don't like the back turrets. They're very, very clumsy. Despite all of this, though, it is a very iconic and nostalgic and expensive set. The minifigs were awesome. You got 2 clone pilots. You had a, I believe, exclusive astromech droid, and then you got Kit Fisto. Now, I was debating putting this set on this list because I was like, well, is it a Revenge of the Sith set? Now, this set was released in a wave of Clone Wars sets. It was released alongside the Clone Wars Tri-Fighter and other sets in 2010. And it does have Christophsis as the box art, which is a Clone Wars planet. And it has Clone Wars box art. So it's like, is it a Clone Wars set? Is it not? I don't know. It does have Revenge of the Sith style minifigs, and it is featured heavily in Revenge of the Sith, so I am going to include it on this list, but we can sort of debate about that in the comments. Great set, just very dated. Coming in the number 3 spot, we have the 75234 80 AP Walker from 2019. This set had 689 pieces, and it's one of those ones, if you're just like a general Star Wars fan, you know, if you're not like a super fan or anything, you probably don't even know what this thing is. And I think this set gets some of its charm from that, you know, it's a set that a lot of people don't actually sort of remember it, it's not very memorable, and it's just a very, very cool vehicle. Not as cool as the ATTE, but I do think it's a better set than the ATTE. This thing is a very evolved build. Basically, this set and the number 1 spot were both made in 2014, and they were re-released in 2019, sort of remade with that evolved build. It is definitely by far the best version of the ATAP we've got, and there is a lot of good features. Of course, you have your top turret, you have a very sizable interior, you have sort of very hidden features, nothing really screams out to you. You have the 3rd leg that can come down. Of course, it's that classic sort of Star Wars Walker thing where it can't really get into a walking pose. Oh well, it doesn't really bug me too much. For figures, we get 2 of those Kashyyyk battle droids in quotation marks for 2019. They were exclusive, they are of course no longer exclusive now. You have Commander Gree, who is a bit of a more common one now, but he is a very nice figure nonetheless. You had a General 41st Elite Clone Trooper, and you also had Chewbacca. I don't really like Chewbacca. I wish we had some more generic Wookiee warriors. They should have removed the battle droids, removed Chewbacca, give us another Clone Trooper and 2 Wookiee warriors. I think that would have been better. But hey ho, we got what we got, and I still think it's a very fine figure selection. Coming in 2nd place, it's the 75040 2014 General Grievous wheel bike. It had 261 pieces, and this is just one of those sets that looks awesome on display. It's very, very unique, sort of like, you know, Anakin's pod racer in that respect. There's nothing else really like it, and if you put it on a shelf, it looks fantastic and it looks very eye-catching. This set, for its day and still today, is a very, very respectable set. They could release it today and it'd be absolutely fine. You had, for the year, a brand new and exclusive General Grievous. Of course, he's no longer exclusive. And you have a sort of classic older Lego Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi, not as refined as the ones we get now, but still very good. And the actual wheel bike is very, very, very well refined. You have a very hidden flick missile on one side. You have the wheel that can turn. It can roll. Despite it being actually a brick-built wheel with all those pieces on it, it rolls fine. You have the legs where it can stand up. You have a carry handle at the back and a place to seat Grievous. This set's wonderful, and it definitely deserves the runner-up spot. Finally coming in the number 1 spot, I don't care what anyone says, this is my favourite Revenge of the Sith set, and it's the 75233 Predator gunship, also known as the Droid gunship, released in 2019. This set had 389 pieces, and how sleek does this thing look? This is such a sleek, badass looking set. It looks so cool from the Battle of Kashyyyk. Now, it is on the smaller side. That is one thing I noticed when I built this thing. It's fairly small, almost laughable actually when you compare it to the LEAT gunship for the clones, but I still think it's okay. The figures were good. You had a classic prequel trilogy Yoda, nothing special, 2 of those Kashyyyk battle droids in quotation marks, and you got Chief Tarful. I think the figure selection for this set is okay. I wouldn't really change it too much, but it is what we got. Now, some of the notable features of this set, of course, you have your missiles on the bottom. They're a little inaccurate, but it's okay. They brought back the flick missiles, which is quite interesting for this set. You have your posable cannons on the wings there with stud shooters. You have your rotating heavy blasters on the front. A space to seat a droid inside, even though this vehicle is a droid. A little bit of added playability, doesn't actually take anything away, so I'm okay with that. And that's going to about do it for this set. I do think it is the most, probably one of the most successful Revenge of the Sith sets. I'm very, very happy with this one. So that's it. That's all of my top 10 Revenge of the Sith sets. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below what's your favourite Revenge of the Sith set. I've probably angered a few people. I know LEGO really needs to get their foot down and make more sets. They really, really do. But yeah, anyway, I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching.